I am going to tell you exactly what happened to me during the 3 weeks I worked the night shift at a gas station on Highway 112. I do not work there anymore. No one does. The station is closed now. I will explain why. The station was called Reader's Fuel Stop. It sat about 40 miles outside of the nearest town, surrounded by thick forest on 3 sides, and an empty highway on the 4th. During the day, it got decent traffic. Truckers, families on road trips, locals from the rural areas nearby. But at night, after about 9, the highway went dead. No cars, no headlights, nothing but darkness and the hum of the fluorescent lights above the fuel pumps. I took the night shift because it paid almost double, 10 at night until 6 in the morning. My manager, a wiry man named Dale, trained me on my first evening. He showed me the register, the storage room, the coffee machines, the security cameras. Standard stuff. Then, right before he left, he handed me a laminated card. "Keep this by the register," he said. "Read it, follow it." The card had 4 instructions. 1. At 2:55 a.m., lock the front door. Do not unlock it until 3:30 a.m. 2. Between 2:55 and 3:30, do not go outside for any reason. 3. If someone or something approaches the building during this time, do not make eye contact. Do not speak. Stay behind the counter and look at the floor. 4. If the lights inside the store begin to flicker, go into the storage room and close the door. Do not come out until the flickering stops. I read the card twice and almost laughed. Is this a joke? Dale was already at the door. He looked back at me. He was not smiling. Follow the instructions, Marcus. Every single one. I am not joking, and I am not crazy. You will understand tonight. He left. I was alone. The first few hours were uneventful. I restocked shelves, cleaned the coffee station, and watched videos on my phone. No customers after 11. The highway was empty. The only sound was the buzzing of the lights and the occasional creak of the building settling. At 2:50, I remembered the card. I felt foolish, but something about Dale's face when he spoke had stuck with me. He was not the kind of man who scared easily. Whatever had made him write those instructions was real to him. I locked the front door at 2:55. I stood behind the counter and waited. At exactly 3 o'clock, the lights above pump number 4 turned on by themselves. They had been off all night. No car had triggered them. No motion sensor had been activated. They just turned on. A pale white glow illuminating a circle of concrete in the darkness. Then I saw it. From the tree line, about 50 yards from the station, something emerged. It walked slowly, deliberately. It moved like a person, but something was fundamentally wrong with the way it carried itself. Its legs bent slightly backward at the knees, like a bird. Its arms did not swing naturally. They hung rigid at its sides. And it was tall, easily 7 feet, maybe more. It walked across the lot and stopped at pump number 4. It stood directly under the light, and it just stood there. I was behind the counter, about 30 feet away, separated by the glass storefront windows. I could see it clearly under the pump light, but I could not make out details. Its skin, if it was skin, was dark gray. It was wearing no clothes. Its body was smooth and featureless like a mannequin that had been left in the rain. And its head was wrong. Too round, too smooth. No hair, no ears that I could see, and where the face should have been, there was just a flat, blank surface. It stood at pump 4 for 22 minutes. I know because I watched the clock the entire time. I did not look at it directly. I kept it in my peripheral vision, just as the card instructed. I stared at the floor and let my eyes drift to the side only enough to track its position. At 3:22, it turned. Not the way a person turns, rotating their body. Its torso stayed facing the pump, but its head rotated, smoothly, like a security camera. It rotated until it was facing the store, facing me. I looked at the floor. My heart was beating so hard I could hear it in my ears. I gripped the edge of the counter and did not move. A minute passed, 2 minutes, 5. At 3:30, the lights above pump 4 turned off. I looked up. The lot was empty. Whatever had been standing there was gone. No movement at the tree line, no sound, just the empty station and the dark highway. I unlocked the front door with shaking hands. I stepped outside and walked to pump 4. The concrete was dry. There were no footprints, no marks of any kind, but the air around the pump was cold, noticeably colder than the rest of the lot, and there was a smell, faint, like old pennies and wet earth. This happened every night for 2 weeks. Same time, same pump, same figure. I followed the instructions on the card without fail. Lock the door at 2:55. Do not go outside. Do not make eye contact. Wait until 3:30. On the 15th night, something changed. At 3 o'clock, the pump lights turned on as usual. The figure emerged from the trees as usual. It walked to pump 4 as usual, but this time it did not stop at the pump. It kept walking toward the store. I watched it approach through the glass windows. Each step was slow and measured, its backward knees bending and straightening with a motion that made my stomach turn. It reached the front of the store and stopped. It pressed its blank face against the glass door, right against it, like a person pressing their nose to a window. The glass fogged up around where its face touched. Not from breath, it wasn't breathing. The fog spread outward in a circle, like frost forming in fast motion. The temperature inside the store dropped. I could see my breath. It stood at the door for 10 minutes. Then it pulled back and walked to pump 4, then to the trees. Then it was gone. The next morning, I told Dale what happened. He went pale. He sat down on the storage room floor and put his head in his hands. "It has never come to the building before," he said quietly. "In 12 years, it has never left the pump." "What is it?" I asked. Dale looked up at me. His eyes were red. "I don't know. The man who owned this station before me said it has been coming since the 70s. He didn't know what it was either. He just knew the rules. Stay inside, don't look, don't engage." "What happens if you engage?" Dale reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a photograph. It was old, faded, and creased from years of folding. It showed 2 men standing in front of the gas station. One of them was smiling. The other was Dale, much younger. "That's my brother, Keith." Dale pointed to the smiling man. "He worked the night shift before me. One night he went outside during the window. He wanted to see what it was close up." "What happened?" "I found his shoes at pump 4 the next morning. Just his shoes, placed neatly side by side. He was gone. No body, no blood, no trace. That was 9 years ago. Dale put the photo away. I check the security footage every night, every single night. When that thing stands at the pump, it holds something in its hand, something small. I zoomed in once. He paused. It's Keith's watch, the one I gave him for his birthday. I quit that night. I drove away from Reader's fuel stop and never went back. 3 months later, I heard the station had closed permanently. Dale had locked it up and left town without telling anyone where he was going. But here's what I haven't told anyone until now. The reason I can't sleep. The reason I'm sharing this story. Last Tuesday, I was in my apartment, 40 miles from that gas station. I was in bed. It was 3 a.m. My lamp turned on by itself. Not flickered, turned on. A pale white glow, just like the pump lights. And outside my bed